What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the last week. This week, packed with new releases, including 3 brand new truck releases. So if you like these videos, hit the like button and let's jump into this week's topics. To kick it off, we have 2 new tire releases from J Concepts. The first one being a 2.2 Junior Fling King. These are a smaller version of the previous Fling Kings. The previous Fling Kings were 2.6 inches and they were taller and narrower overall. I think they looked pretty traditional mega truck style. These more along the lines of what you see with the smaller 2.2 monster truck tires and wheels. They're a little bit wider at 2.5 inches and they sit on a 2.2 inch wheel. So a little bit smaller, but they've got that aggressive chevron pattern that you'll see on other monster trucks, mega trucks, mud trucks, things like that. So if you're interested in that type of look, here's an option for you. Add these to whatever you plan to go get muddy. And then alongside the Fling King Junior, they released a Renegade Junior. This is a small 2.2 monster truck tire, less aggressive on the tread pattern. Tread depth also not nearly as high. I believe the size of this would be close to the BKT tires that come on the Axial SMT, and then probably a lot of the other like Traxxas independent suspension type monster trucks. And if these look like something you're wanting to play around with, add them to your shopping cart. I'll link to these as well as the rest of today's stories in the description below. Next, I want to get to a story from Mon-Tech. Now, this is a company we don't talk about very often. We don't really see them releasing things in our area all that often. But this story I found exclusively on Red RC. I can't even find it on Mon-Tech's website, but it looks like Mon-Tech is releasing several styles of Lexan cockpits, you know, like a bomber interior type. There's ones specifically for crawler / trail trucks. There's also ones for more like rally cars or on-road cars and things like that. But there's a wide variety with some single driver, some dual driver. They come with a molded helmet that has an actual like Lexan visor that goes over it to add a little bit more detail than just the normal sticker style that we see. I'm actually pretty excited for these. I really like the sizes and the options that they are adding. I really hope that AMain picks these up. AMain has recently been distributing Mon-Tech's parts, so hopefully they bring in this full line because I'm really looking to pick them up. Like I said, I haven't been able to find these on any other website other than Red RC at the moment. I'll link to where you can find more information on this in the description below, and as time goes, I'm sure that the full details will come out about these. For you Axial SCX24 owners, there's a bunch of new RC 4-wheel drive accessories that are now in stock and ready to purchase. Roof racks, sliders. There's some specific options for the different models as well as some that are a little bit more universal. So if you're searching for some detail parts, want to change things up a little bit, I'll link to where you can find a bunch of those different options down below. And speaking of 1/24 scale, RC 4-wheel drive also released the 1.0 TSL THORNBIRDs, the world's worst full-size tire, now available but smaller. THORNBIRDs were the worst in the full size. In RC, they don't look much better, but the smaller they get, at least you can't really tell what they are nearly as much. But if you're a fan of terrible looking stuff, you can buy these because they're available now. For you no prep guys, our design recently released a line of wheelie bar mounts. These are for the Associated and Losi cars. Associated, of course, the DR10, but also the B6.1 and the B5M. And then for the TLR, there's options for both the 2.2 laydown style and the 2.2 stand up. Now, all of these mounts are designed to allow you to mount up a Traxxas slash style wheelie bar to them. Those seem to be the most plentiful as far as options go. These just allow you to purchase whichever one of those you like and mount them to the rear of any of those cars mentioned. If you'd like to pick these up, these are a machined aluminum option. You can pick them up. I'll link to our design's website in the description below. And alongside of those, STRC released their version of a DR10 wheelie bar mount. This comes with both a CNC mount and the full wheelie bar setup. It uses ball bearing style wheelie bars in the rear. It's got some adjustability. If you're a fan of STRC, maybe this is one that you'll pick up to replace the stock plastic one that comes on that DR10. This was just released, so you'll probably have to wait just a little bit before the distributors of STRC stuff start to get them in stock. A while back, we talked about the Super Scale 2020 suspension set. It's got a little programmable box and it controls 4 independent servos in a vehicle to kind of give it the illusion of having a soft or a heavy suspension to kind of make the body lean and roll through the corners, through the turns, while stopping, while accelerating, all of that. I actually picked one up. It's in a project down there on the bottom shelf. But they are now releasing one that is specifically made for off-road trucks like our scale rigs. I'm not 100% sure how this thing is specifically meant to be installed. I believe it looks like it's going to have a link between the actual shocks that stay on the vehicle and servos that are going to be installed. So it's either going to be mounted to specific servo arms or some sort of cantilever thing is what they're expecting you to do. We'll have to wait and see. So far, he's only posted kind of a teaser video showing a TRX-4 kind of lumbering through the rocks, and you can see the body just moving around, looking like it has an extremely soft suspension. You can kind of see the weight shift as things, you know, accelerate and decelerate. These are always cool to see. The programming behind them, super interesting. And if you're kind of into that, you know, slow speed detail during video, maybe this will be a perfect addition to your collection. I'll link to his social media. You can follow along, wait until he makes an official announcement on the product and jump on it then. Now let's jump into the 3 new vehicle releases for this week, and we'll do them in order. The first one is going to be the new Super Baja Ray 2.0. This thing, there was leaks about this a while ago, specifically when Horizon was doing their website changeover. This got accidentally put up on the website, just Super Baja Ray 2.0, with, you know, no pictures or anything like that, and it eventually got taken down. There were some other new releases also leaked at that same time, but we haven't seen anything about those yet. However, this one is finally here. It's been released. It looks fantastic. It's got an all new style. One of the options is a Brenthal livery, and they did the product video with the full size version of that truck. Now this is like a 1/5 scale vehicle. Huge, runs up to 8S. There's a bunch of improvements on this truck compared to the original Super Baja Ray, including the chassis, specifically where those front A-arms and the main part of the chassis start. It was a known weak spot of the original where that chassis would actually snap. Looks like they've updated that. A lot of this vehicle underneath is actually the Super Rock Ray, you know, the rear half at least. I believe that was a little bit beefier than the Super Baja Ray. So they've updated that, made a bunch of changes to the body. It's now like a big one-piece body. Ton of detail. The actual proportions of the body look fantastic. Matt at the Scale Builders Guild did a video showing all of the details of it, kind of looking Q&A style throughout the whole truck. Great video to watch. I'll link to that video, as well as where you can go pre-order this truck. This is $899. It's a lot, but it's a big vehicle and there's a lot there. So I think that it's right in line, pretty reasonable price overall if you're looking for a really gnarly RC. One note that I'd like to add about the story is just, it's cool to see Losi really shifting towards a lot of scale detail within these vehicles that are not scale trucks, but, you know, scale versions of real trucks with the laser nut. This one, even like the Tenacity TT Pro, while it didn't have realistic suspension, the proportions looked really good, and a miniature version of this, you know, Brenthal truck. So it's just cool to see this direction of these other areas of RC really putting a lot of attention into scale realism throughout their models. Makes me excited to see what's to come in the next 1, 2, 3 years, as product development for those years is probably going on now. So things are going to evolve. We're going to see this wave of scale realism taking over and carrying through in that time. The next release was from Element, and this is the new Enduro Gatekeeper. Now this is an Element Enduro underneath, but now it's got a plastic molded cage over top that actually hinges out of the way. It's very Ultra 4 style. Solid axle front and rear, but the rear now has a trailing arm rear suspension. The wheelbase was lengthened to 12.8 inches, so longer than any of the previous versions. Like I mentioned, solid axle up front, but the IFS kit will work on it. I did a full like 24-minute long video, including running footage on this vehicle specifically. It is a builder's kit, so you'll need, you know, your own electronics. It doesn't come with wheels or tires, so you'll need those as well. But full video with going through all of the differences, some of the things that Element has updated. They've made a lot of little changes in this kit that I hope I see kind of carry through some of the other ones, because they're making nice tweaks to the bill of materials of these things to really turn them into great trucks. You can pre-order these right now, and of course I'll link to that and my video down below. And the last new truck release, this one came just an hour or two before I started filming this video, and this is a new GS02F Buffalo from GMade. Now, this truck looks to be a little bit of an evolution from GMade. Now, this new truck has a lot of new features in it. The design looks fairly updated. It doesn't look like just another version of the Bomb that we saw previously. It is a ladder frame truck. It's got inner wheel wells, a forward mounted motor, which we've seen from them before. It's also a 2-speed transmission, which we've seen from them in like the GOM. But now this one also has overdrive built into the transmission. Stock, it comes with a small percentage, not bad, but there is options that you can add to go either to 0% or up to like 21%. This is being offered as a kit, and there's actually 2 versions being offered. One shows being a military option and one not. So they show the running footage of one clearly looking military, but it's mainly the paint. So I'm not 100% sure what they're changing between the 2 models, but it looks like information is just now rolling out as I'm putting out this video. So I'm sure that more will come out here shortly, and we'll be able to find pricing and availability, all of that kind of stuff in the coming week. But GMade keeps doing this to me. They released the GOM, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I like the style, I like some of the features. And then I built it and was let down. Then they released the Bomb, and I was like, oh, okay, they fixed some of the things I didn't like, you know. Then I got it and I built it and I was let down again. We'll see about this one. Maybe they've just evolved enough and they've caught enough of these things where this is going to be a possible solid option in the market. And of course, there's going to be people who've got the other versions and like them and things like that. But if they were truly really good options, they would be more popular. So we'll see. Maybe this one is going to be GMade's actual hit in the market. I'll be interested to find out. And since it's a kit, I'm definitely going to have to build one. So put it on pre-order somewhere and wait until it rolls in. That's going to do it for this week's news topics. This week for the question, it's an easy one. We've got 3 new trucks to pick from. If you got to choose one of these, which one would you choose? Couldn't sell it, you were gonna have to use it. You're gonna have to complete it. You're gonna go for the Super Baja Ray 8S, where you gotta buy all 8S worth of battery and then find somewhere to run this behemoth? Or are you gonna get more use out of one of these 2, you know, trail rigs, and then you have 2 to choose from? Which one are you going with? The Element with the platform that's solid and stable and garnering some aftermarket support with an Ultra Force style to it? Or do you go with the GMade, untested, unproven on this new platform here with an older K5 body? Not a bad looking body, but it's full width, big bumpers, the whole deal. Where are you going? Which one are you choosing and why? Put your answers in the comments below. It's my favorite part of every week's videos. But that's gonna do it for this very busy week in the world of scale news. I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you have an awesome rest of the week. Hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.